Today's League Lowdown brings us to Romania in search of football manager save ideas. We'll be examining the best clubs to manage in Romania as we explore a nation that has produced former European champions, a World Cup quarter-final squad, as well as one of the greatest players of his generation. We'll pick out some top-flight challenges, some epic FM22 rebuilds, and some lower league adventures. So let's dive in the League Lowdown guide to Romania. Welcome to another League Lowdown. This time we are in Romania. They've got rather a complex league structure to explain. I think that's probably where we should start. Okay, let's see how good a job we can do of explaining this particular structure. The top division in Romania consists of 16 teams. To begin with, it's straightforward. They play each other home and away over a 30-game regular season before a lopsided split, when we have the top 6 going into a playoff group where they play each other a further 2 times, and the bottom 10 going into a play-out group where they play each other just once more. The teams that finish 15th and 16th in that play-out group are automatically relegated. The 13th and 14th placed clubs then have a playoff against the teams that come 3rd and 4th in the division below. The teams that finish 7th and 8th in the play-out group, well, they play against each other, with the winner playing one of the teams from the play-off group, that's the top 6, to see who will get the last remaining UEFA Europa Conference League place. When those 15th and 16th clubs are relegated, they go into a playable second tier in Romania, where the top 2 are automatically promoted. It's 3rd and 4th that get those playoff shots against teams from the division above, and we've also got a league split with another playoff group and a rather sizable play-out group as well. In Romania, we also have a 3rd tier that you can load, although you can't take charge of a club at that level at the start of the game. So that is my best attempt at explaining how the league structure works. Let's look at the clubs that you could manage, starting with the champions. And those champions are CFR Cluj, who were formed more than 100 years ago by rail workers, but all of their trophies have come this century since wealthy investors took over the club. In terms of their facilities, they've got great training facilities, good youth facilities, adequate academy coaching, but excellent youth recruitment. And since the turn of the century, they've become one of the dominant teams in Romanian football. They've won the Cup 4 times between 2008 and 2016, and last season they made it 4 league titles in a row, and they've got 7 of those in total. They've also competed in the group stage of both the Champions League and the UEFA Cup. So if you like the idea of taking charge of a ready-made club that could compete at the top from the very first season, Cluj might be the answer. But I think we should now address the elephant in the room. The elephant in question is Romania's most successful club and former European champion Steaua Bucharest. The controversy is that there are 2 different entities both claiming to be the continuation of Steaua Bucharest. The first are in the top flight, that is FCSB. What can we say for sure about them? Well, they play at the National Stadium and they have some fabulous facilities, great training facilities, great youth facilities, good academy coaching, and exceptional youth recruitment as well. What else can we say with certainty? Well, over the last decade or so, they've won the Romanian Cup 3 times, and since 2005, they've won the Romanian title on 5 occasions as well. However, FCSB would claim to be the rightful heirs to the history of the Steaua Bucharest side that were European champions in 1986, having beaten Barcelona on penalties. But there is another club that have made their way through the Romanian pyramid and are now in the 2nd division. That club are called Steaua Bucharest. They play at the 30,000 capacity Steaua Stadium. And according to Football Manager, they are also the rightful heirs to the history of Steaua Bucharest, having that Champions League victory in 1986, the UEFA Super Cup title that they won later that year, 21 league trophies between the 50s and 2001, and 20 cup wins as well. Were these 2 clubs to meet in the top division, it would be one almighty grudge game. These teams have been competing in courtrooms, but soon they could be competing on the pitch as well. Maybe you like the idea of taking charge of one of these two clubs to see whether you can make them the dominant force in Romanian football once more. If we return to the top flight, there is a similar story where another two clubs from a different city both lay claim to the history of a former club. The first of those is FC Craiova, who've got a rather attractive 30,950 capacity stadium, were formerly only founded in 2017, and so far they have no competition history of note, having made their way up through the leagues. However, at the same level, in fact, in the same stadium, are another club called Craiova, who also lay claim to being a team that reached the 1983 UEFA Cup semi-finals, only losing on away goals to Benfica. Now, this is a history worth competing for, because this club has won the Romanian Cup on 8 different occasions and the Romanian League 4 times as well. Two clubs from the same city and the same stadium both claim to be the rightful heirs to that history. It's 2 more clubs that you could take charge of and try and guide to the top of the domestic game. You'd like to take charge of a successful club in Romanian football, but without some of the legal and political consequences of our first suggestions, well, Dinamo Bucharest might appeal. They play at a 15,000 capacity stadium, and they have some decent facilities as well, with good training and good youth facilities, good academy coaching, and exceptional youth recruitment. In 1984, they made it to the semi-finals of the European Cup before losing out to Liverpool, and domestically, they've won the Romanian Cup 13 times, and they've won the title on 18 occasions, most recently winning it in 2007. Over recent seasons, they've not finished as high in the league as a club with such a rich pedigree might have liked. Maybe you could take charge of them and turn them not just into the top club in Bucharest, but the top club in Romanian football. Another club in Romania that are the perceived successor to a former great are FC Rapid. Promoted to the top flight last season, they were formerly Rapid Bucharest, who were the 3 times champions of Romania and 14 times runners-up. They also reached the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup in 2006, when heartbreakingly they lost to rivals Steaua. If you would like to take charge of a club that looks like it was founded in 2017 but claims a great history, while FC Rapid are another club from the capital that might fit the bill. If you're looking for a top-flight club in Romania to take charge of, but one where the prospect of winning the league title is a tougher proposition, well, UTA might be a club that you could check out. They play at an 11,500 capacity stadium, and in terms of their history, they've won the Romanian Cup twice, once in the 40s and again in the 1950s. They've also won the league title on 6 occasions between 1947 and 1970. Winning the title with this club would be more of a medium to long-term project. That's what you're looking for in your Romanian adventure. Well, this club may well be perfect for you, but there is another club, newly formed, that also have their own story to tell. This season sees the top flight debut of a newly formed club following a merger between 2 clubs from the east of Romania bordering onto the Black Sea. The club will be called Farul Constanta, but the merger also involved FC Viitorul, the club of Georgi Hagi, and Hagi is one of the new owners of this newly formed entity, and the chairman of the club is another Romanian international in the form of Gica Popescu. They play at a 4,500 capacity stadium, and when they were FC Viitorul, they managed to win the top flight in Romania in 2017, as well as winning the cup in 2019. This is a club in Romania that under Hagi were associated with developing young prospects. Maybe that could be your goal if you were to take over the side. In terms of the facilities you'd have to help enable that, you're going to have great training facilities, excellent youth facilities, excellent academy coaching, and exceptional youth recruitment as well. If you're looking for a youth-only save in Romania, well, Farul Constanta may well be the club for you. But we can also check out some clubs from the second tier that might also provide the backdrop for your next FM adventure. One club in the second tier that you could help revive and perform a bit of a rebuild at are Petrolul, who play at a rather attractive 15,500 capacity stadium and have got some recent success as well as some more historic victories as well. Let's go for the recents first, because you've only got to go back as far as 2013 to find the last time that this club were winning the Romanian Cup, one of 3 times that they've managed to win that trophy. They've also been champions of Romania on 4 occasions as well. These victories are a little bit further back in their history, having won it for the first time in 1930 and most recently in 1966. Were you to take them back to the top of Romanian football, you would need to get promoted first and then set about building a squad that could help you compete with the country's top names. Maybe that's the kind of challenge that you're looking for, but there's another club in the second tier in Romania where a similar challenge awaits. Our final suggestion might not have a stadium quite as attractive as our previous offering, and it only holds 3,000 fans, but this is certainly a bit more of a rebuild project, as FC Repentia are only predicted to finish 14th in the Romanian second division. However, in the 1930s, this was a club that was winning many trophies. They've won the Romanian Cup twice in 1934 and 1936, and during the same decade, they were 4-time champions of Romania, winning the title in 1933, 35, 36 and 1938, taking them back to a level where they could compete with the leading lights of Romanian football. Could be one of the biggest challenges that FM22 offers you in Romania, but maybe that's the kind of task that you're looking to take on. But that completes the League Lowdown guide to Romania, where clubs battle in the courtroom and battle out on the pitch to be the nation's most dominant force. We'll see you very soon when we make another nation the focus of our next League Lowdown.